And Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland along with Kyle Dickens back at you. Tornado warning for Bureau County, central Bureau County. This storm south of Walnut. There you can see the rotation. This is moving to the south and east at a fairly good clip. So we need you in central Bureau County, Illinois, to take shelter now as we have an active tornado warning. A lot of rotation here. Again, we've got the greens, what you're seeing here on our velocity or storm-based wind. Green going toward, that's air, and rain going toward the radar site. Red coming away. So there is our circulation, and there you can see the total warning box. Doesn't quite get to Tuscaloosa, but it does include Princeton, and this warning again goes till 10:15. You did see some of the towns that this will affect momentarily here as we draw this out and track this. Temperature, the timing here, not so great because we were hoping to get this very heavy rain off to the east. But these storms still have a little bit of rotation. And there again, you can see Bureau Township School area, 9:54. Princeton itself at this pace, about 9:12. About quarter after 10, or I should say 10:12, about a quarter after 10 for the Memorial Hospital, the Perry Memorial Hospital, and around 10:30 for Bureau Junction. Again, at this point, this tornado warning goes until 10:30. And is this another tornado warning? Yeah, new tornado warning for portions of Scott County and Rock Island County. Here's the Metro Quad Cities here, and they're just off to the southwest. There's Highway 2 or Interstate 280 right there. Oh, wow. So this is going to take a portion of, let's see, Enchanted Island, the Mississippi River down there, almost toward Andalusia, Buffalo, and then portions of Rock Island County. There's Highway 67 and 280. So this is a new tornado warning that goes until 10:30. And again, we're looking at the rotation here. Little convoluted, but you can see it. It is kind of in that area right there as these storms have really popped up quickly. We were talking about this storm online, how it really is following Interstate 80 where it was developing west of the Metro Quad Cities, now getting over the Metro Quad Cities, and it will settle down along Interstate 80 and point south as it gets into Henry County, Illinois, and Bureau County, Illinois, as it continues to move on to the east. Here's Metro Cam here, Kyle working that to see if we can see anything. Most likely what we're going to see, if we can get beyond the lightning, might be some power flashes downriver from the Metro Quad Cities. So this is yet another tornado warning. We've already had one to the north tonight. Now these new storms firing up on the southern flank of this whole system, producing a couple tornadoes perhaps here in the Metro Quad Cities and back toward Bureau County. Again, central Bureau County, tornado warning till 10:15 here. So take shelter anywhere from south of Walnut down to Princeton. And then here's our second tornado warning, very small one, but this just gets into the Metro Loop here. There's Interstate 280. Down the Mississippi to Buffalo and very close to, if not in Andalusia, and this would include Enchanted Island as well, as that tornado seems to be, or at least the rotation in the cloud seems to be very close to the Mississippi and Interstate 280, probably just to the south and west of the Nahant CPKC yard. And again, as you take a look there, you can see what we're looking at in terms of the storm that's just popped up in the last few hours and the storms that have been with us, creating some very heavy rain. By the way, Clinton, Iowa, we're getting a lot of now video on social media, reports of 1 to 2 feet of standing water in some places and about 1 to 3 inches of total rainfall. Back to Bureau County, you can see that we've got that circulation right there. This is all south of Walnut, north of Interstate 80. There's Highway 40. So the Hennepin Canal Park just down here, and as we move toward Princeton, you can see that that's quite a signature there, quite a rotation signature, and that is, as the box shows, dropping to the southeast. So that's going to be toward Princeton. I'm going to see if I can get some info here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this is over, it looks like Backbone Road. So everybody knows where Backbone Road is. It's right here. We've got Wyanett in this as well. So here's Princeton right here. This is to the northwest of Princeton, but if you are in Princeton, this is heading towards you. You need to take your tornado precautions right now. It's a little bit broader of a circulation now, but I can tell you it could be tightening up here. This is the Wyanett Walnut Blacktop right here. So Wyanet's right here, Walnut up to the north. So it's about to cross over the Wyanett Walnut Blacktop here, just to the north of Wyanett. It does have its eyes set pretty much on Princeton. I think that is heading red line, center line for Princeton at this time. So tornado warning continues here for Bureau County. Again, that warning is in effect here. We'll put the information on that. That warning in effect until 10:15. So folks in Bureau County, specifically Princeton, Wyanett at this time, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. On top of that, torrential downpours, lots of lightning and hail is also possible with this. We want to also inform you folks here in Scott and Rock Island counties, because we had that new tornado warning issue. What was that again?
I guess sirens are running in the metro. Not that you could hear them because of the pounding rain on your roof.
Exactly. And I want to mention, too, I was just racing back in here right before those warnings got issued, and I did see a power flash here on the west side of Davenport. Could be from lightning, but we had a pretty intense gust of wind. So they are concerned with this circulation. We're concerned with the circulation, too. Right now, here's Milan. So gets into Milan, little portion of Rock Island for the metro. Davenport, not so much in this morning. This is going to be focused on the Milan area over towards Buffalo, Bluegrass. It's now crossing into Rock Island County. On top of that, though, very torrential downpours happening right now here in the metro. You saw on that camera, we really couldn't see anything. In addition to that, hail not out of the question. Damaging winds also very possible. So continues to be a threat for the metro. Very dangerous storm that is moving through there. I'll show you. Look how expansive this is. Lots of lightning with it too. So wouldn't be surprised based off of what we've had go into, as Eric mentioned, up to the north in the Clinton area. We've got active flash flooding continuing. We might see a flash flood warning as these storms will be moving over the same area. But back to the tornado warning here in Bureau County. If you are in the Princeton area, you need to seek immediate shelter now. Get indoors and move to your basements now, because we do continue with that circulation heading right towards Princeton at this time.
Yeah, and the thing about this tornado warning for Princeton, this is part of the area that really hasn't had any storms yet. So still very warm, still very humid. And as these storms kind of get into this, what we call untapped atmosphere, they are finding some strength. There is a boundary here, and that's where these storms that have affected the metro kind of formed late this evening and then have slipped to the east, southeast, kind of like this one is here. Now we've got the lower end of this whole mass of air storms, or massive thunderstorms dropping south into some very warm and humid air, and it looks like we've got the circulations that Kyle is pointing out here. And unfortunately, if you follow even this line, which is the southern end of this box, kind of gives you the general idea of the direction of these. These are both heading right toward Princeton. So anywhere near Princeton, down Interstate 80 from the Princeton exit, you really need to be taking shelter now as these rotations are heading your way. And I'm trying to get a lock on these speeds here, but these storms have really come up pretty quickly, and it looks like a little bit of enhancement there as well.
They've actually, and unfortunately why we are seeing these flash flood warnings, folks, is because the speeds have been variable, as you mentioned, Eric, but we are also noticing in some of these storms that develop, they're actually pretty slow moving and influenced by this boundary that they're at. As Eric mentioned, we have untapped air here. Temperature right now in Kewanee, it's 81 degrees, 77 right now in Princeton. So this is tapping into that warmer air to the south, cooler to the north. Right now, that circulation, I would say it's probably slowly moving over the Wyanett, Walnut, Blacktop area here. This is north of I-80 at this time. So right now, that circulation, I'll circle it here and let you know. So let's see, we got lots of communities reporting sirens going off. I'm sure Princeton is doing that as well. 1900 North Avenue here, Wyanett, Walnut, Blacktop, or Wyanett, Walnut Road is right there. Here's I-80, so you can see the circulation at this point is moving over Wyanett, Walnut, Blacktop, and close to the Backbone Road area, which is right here, snakes around. And so again, heading right towards Princeton. So if you're in Princeton, Wyanett, you need to be in your shelters now. Take your tornado precautions. Do it now, because this is looking like it is strengthening here as this continues to the southeast.
And the warning that we have that includes portions of the Quad Cities metro area, southwestern Scott County into Rock Island. That tornado very, very small, so you really need to take shelter in this area from Milan up to Highway 67 there. There's the 280 you saw. Here's Turkey Hollow Road, and there is some circulation that looks very evident right there. Again, toward the radar site, follow these pixels. We're going back to the airport in Davenport, away away from the radar site. So right over Turkey Hollow Road, that's where we've got the circulation right now. And there's Highway 92. We go out. There's the Mississippi. We go out toward Andalusia. So as this approaches Milan, and there you can see Big Island Road right here, and Interstate 280, kind of the red on red, kind of tough to see, but that's where we're looking at the casino, just to the location behind our banner there. But again, the very small circulation here that the Weather Service has picked up on, and that's why that tornado warning box somewhat small. But this storm only moving southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And again, there you can see what we've got in terms of our tornado warning till 10:30. By the way, the Bureau County tornado warning goes till 10:15. And I still want to say we've got those flash flood warnings in effect off to the north. Still a lot of drainage taking place from the earlier storms. One that was out till 1 a.m. was canceled, so maybe those other warnings will be canceled in terms of the flash flooding as the drainage progresses. But again, here is that line of storms kind of tagging up with that boundary and hitting some warmer air and more humid air south of it that wasn't rain cooled, and that's why we're getting the rotation with this storm. And you can see once again, not only the rotation, but just like all of these other storms, we have got very widespread heavy rain, and this is moving with the slow storm speed to the point where a lot of this rain is going to start piling up. And at least this ground here wasn't rained on earlier this evening, but now it is getting rained down. So depending on the rainfall rates we'll see what we get in terms of any flooding concerns, but also the updrafts with these possible tornadoes right there, as you can see those large hail clusters. And this one is right along Highway 40 north of Interstate 80. There's the intersection right there. Right back there we've got the Hennepin Canal Park just north of Highway 34 in that area, and the Psycho Silo down there as well. This is Bureau County. There's Princeton. So if you are in Princeton or anywhere along Interstate 80 west of Princeton, you really need to be taking shelter now, because it looks like those spins that we saw masked by that hail moving right toward Princeton or just south of Princeton right now. And there we see some of those connections there, those couplets as we call them, with the air going toward the radar and away from the radar right up next to each other. That's our indication of where we've got possible tornadoes. And with this particular storm, we've got two rotations, or I should say within this particular warning box, we've got two very definite rotations. And again, this tornado warning goes until 10:15. We've got 10:30 on that tornado warning that is just in the southwest metro Quad Cities. So there you see where we're getting the rotation signature. Kyle? Go ahead.
I was just going to say that kind of what we're seeing here is what we've been seeing with some of these, and there's a little bit of a trade-off that happens. These storms expand, and we might get one circulation to start to weaken a little bit, and right behind it you get another one to form. That's kind of what we're seeing, but there is still circulation right now. It's positioned over top of Wyanett. So if you're in Wyanett, shelter now. You should be in your basements now if you haven't already done so. Princeton, not far away. It's a few minutes away. You need to be in your shelters now too, but we continue to see these rotation markers indicate where Doppler radar has all sorts of algorithms it looks at. It is pinning that area here just east of Route 40, north of 80, heading right again towards Princeton, kind of right behind on the heels of the circulation that was what was put out for that warning. But Princeton, continue with your shelter now. I'll take a look at a couple things here, and you can see one thing I'm noticing is an uptick in lightning. So that usually means we're starting to see some expansion. Also, that hail core is, as Eric mentioned, we're starting to see that expand. So this is a strengthening storm. One thing that I don't like what we're seeing here is it's kind of trying to hook and make that hook echo there. Just looks like right over top of I-80, heading right into Princeton. So that's a dangerous storm. We'll back out here, and a whole mess of storms. The whole I-80 corridor in Illinois at this point is a huge mess right now. Do not travel in that. We continue with that tornado warning where we're seeing some circulation here, albeit weak, just outside. Still there, still holding its own here, just to the southwest of Milan. And I want to mention, too, an update here from the National Weather Service. Rotation continues to cycle now just north of Wyanett. We're watching closely the longevity of these to gauge for downstream warnings. They're saying that these seem to be rapid cycling, but maybe somewhat short-lived rotation areas. So anywhere in that warning, we're pinning that area that's heading towards Princeton now, but anywhere within Bureau County there, we need to watch. And again, also here, Milan and points to the southwest here. Small warning, but nonetheless, that section of Scott and Rock Island County continues under tornado warning.
Yeah, and as we bring it out there, and you can see these are areas where you need to be taking shelter right now, and the reason is twofold. One, it's night, it's dark, you can't see, plus the fact that we've got blinding rain either way, even if it was daytime. So to see where these would be, very tough. So if you are anywhere within these warning boxes, and if you have alerts on your phone, you might have got a specific alert, you need to take shelter right now, along with this thunderstorm that's producing a possible tornado here in Rock Island and or southern Scott County, southwestern Scott County, likely over past the river now. But if you are in these areas, do take shelter. This particular warning goes till 10:30, and as we draw out a little ETA, you can see that Taylor Ridge 9:57, Coal Valley 10 o'clock, if that even gets that far to the east. But this thing is on the move right now. It's a very small circulation, and we're talking about, if you think about where Tomes Pressler Performance Food Group is, that warehouse there, and back either side of that road toward Andalusia or down toward Milan proper. That's kind of the area that we're talking about right now, although it is kind of hard to see exactly where that circulation is. It might be hugging the eastern portion of this warning box, but it is getting a little bit more convoluted at this point. But again, one of the reasons could be because we've got such torrential rainfall there, and that of course sets up the problem with visibility. Here's something that's a little bit interesting now. That's just to the that was I think what prompted the warning right there. Oh, okay, we're going back in time.
Yeah, I was
here.
just kind of looking where that area of circulation was.
Yeah,
it really, I would say that we're probably past I'm not really seeing anything with
it would
this.
be southwest of Milan, where it would be if it was still prominent, but it's kind of hard to see at this point. So it might have just worn itself out. That is something that does happen, but again, this warning is still out until 10:30, so we'll continue to track it and see what the Weather Service comes up with. But if it was to be extended, it would go into areas just down Highway 67 in southern Rock Island County, north of Mercer County. And then, of course, we're still dealing with some more prominent spins here, rotations here and here in Bureau County, moving to the south and east, slow movers about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So unfortunately, what that means is that we're also looking at the rain piling up, and it is torrential rainfall with this storm here. So there you see Interstate 80, there you see Highway 34, there's Princeton. So anywhere west of Princeton, from Princeton south, Princeton west, you really need to be taking shelter right now with no delay. And there's our Princeton, or I should say Bureau County warning that goes till 10:15. Again, these are pretty slow moving storms in this one, Kyle, so I could see that one being extended. Or at least we'll see where those rotations go. Yeah. And at about 10:15, if they're still in that box, we might have an adjustment, because it doesn't look like they're coming down in terms of any intensity or rotation.
Yeah, and one thing we're noticing here is that there's little spikes of what we call DBZ. It's just the energy within the storm, or that the radar is picking up here. You see some of those pinks showing up here. And I do really want to quick mention, we are at the top of the hour. It's 10 o'clock. You're watching KWQC TV6 News at 10. Meteorologist Kyle Dickens, along with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland. We're getting you through these tornado warnings. This tornado warning that is in effect until 10:15 for Bureau County. The Rock Island County storm that they are watching, update here, Eric, and I'm sure you're looking at that probably too right now, it looks like that they are agreeing with us on that too, that circulation is weakening. We'll probably see that warning go away, either cancel or just let it expire. But we do continue with circulations here in Bureau County. This is our focus. So if you're in Princeton, Wyanett, I would even say Tisqua area, it's going to hit Tisqua. The tornadic portion might stay just to the north, but close enough. You should take shelter. Malden, Dover, you folks need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. I'll put velocity back on here, and we are seeing some areas and some enhancement continues in here. But what's happened, and that's what just spiked here. I would say, so this is Route 40 here. Here's I-80. Just to the north of I-80, just to the east of Route 40, we see an increase in that rotation. And again, these are heading right towards Princeton. So Princeton, take your tornado precautions right now if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, and as you can see, as Kyle was pointing out right here, you know, we've got this here, we've got this here now. That one's kind of forming in the back end of this morning, and the lead spin is right up here, just kind of crossing I-80 between I-80 and 34. So we're almost looking at 3 little areas of concern right now within this one tornado warning, and this is the one that only goes till 10:15, whereas our metro one goes till 10:30. That one's probably going to be taken out. But again,
canceled it.
Canceled the metro warning?
Metro warning canceled.
Okay,
Yep.
good news there. And then here again, you look at 1100 East Street and 1200 East Street, where these kind of intersect in that area. As we're looking at the street names, you can see that we've got a circulation there, then a more prominent circulation, a little bit wider. And Kyle was talking about Backbone Road before. This goes from Backbone Road up to the county road here, 2100 North Avenue. You know, these are rural roads, but that's where we've got the circulation. At least when this radar scan was taken, this is all moving to the south and east at a rather slow pace, but it is making that progress. So this first circulation here, this particular circulation, probably crossing Wyanett Walnut Road shortly along just south of the county road there. And then we've got yet another one even closer to Princeton. But, you know, it's just, you just got to have to wait and see where these go. But they're moving so slowly, even 1 or 2 radar scans, they don't move a whole lot.
Yeah, and I want to mention here too, because I know, hey, I'm from Bureau County, know these areas pretty well. Backbone Road, everybody knows where Backbone Road is. So this comes out of Princeton. Backbone Road, that right here, this is Backbone Road. It's over Backbone Road, and right now, I would say Backbone Road and Wyanett Walnut Blacktop is where the circulate, and it continues on here. So
yeah, new warning there.
Yeah, it looks like they've adjusted that warning. We'll take a look at that. But here, County Road 2100, Wyanett Walnut Road, or Wyanett Walnut Blacktop, that is the area of circulation now heading southeast. We will get the latest information continuing with that circulation and with that tornado warning there. New update here. We'll get the information.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't a new warning. They just cut the back half off of that.
Yeah, cut the back half. But and still some broad rotation too near the Wyanett area. I'd say it's probably over top of Wyanett right now. Actually, we could zoom in. I don't think Wyanett there's Wyanett right there. So just to the northeast of Wyanett here, along Route 6 there, 34, Route 6, Highway 34, Route 6 area, going into town. It is over top of that area, albeit broad. I think to the northwest here, though, Wyanett Walnut Road here, that area is where we're focused on that circulation now. We will get to the news desk here in a minute, Eric, because we do have some reported power outages in and across the metro area. So we'll take it over to Eric at the wall, but I know you guys at the news desk have got some new information too we'll be getting here momentarily. Yeah,
so to give a bit of a recap here, the Metro Quad Cities tornado warning has been canceled as the rotation is no longer there. We've adjusted, or the Weather Service has adjusted, the size of the tornado warning for Bureau County. But again, if you are in Bureau County, I mean, this thing is from Princeton back toward the central part of the county, and we've got a few circulations. So the best thing to do at this point would just be to take shelter as we kind of narrow down these rotations with each radar scan. If we could go back to reflectivity here, just to give a broad look at the storm, these will continue to move to the south and east, and this warning goes until 10:15, as you can see, waiting further word to see whether this gets extended, and there is that possibility, as the Weather Service has been talking about that, to drop this a little bit farther south as these storms continue to drop south as well. You know, one thing we've been noticing here at the station, just continuous heavy rain on the roof, and that's with this whole line here right along a boundary, which is essentially lining up pretty close to Interstate 80, torrential rainfall. So not going to be surprised if we get some flooding or some flash flooding, maybe some urban and small stream flooding. Might even see along this line, which extends back through the Metro Quad cities, some more flash flood warnings. That has really yet to be seen, but I can tell you already, when I was doing a Facebook Live at about 9:15 o'clock, these storms had already put down between an inch and a half of rain, and they're persisting over the same spots. And with that slow movement, that water is going to pile up. So if you're getting a storm right now and you are along the I-80 corridor, either north or south of it, and you live in a flood-prone area, better check things out and make that determination if you have to get out and get to a higher area for the remainder of the night as we get all this drainage from this extremely heavy rain.
Yeah, and I'm actually right now. I want to mention, and I appreciate everybody who's sending me pictures. Got know a lot of people out there in Princeton and Bureau County. What I'm seeing based off of the pictures. Again, thank you for showing these. We will share these too here on air. It looks like a very large lowering, a wall cloud.
Yeah, I see that.
And it is looks like it's getting close to the ground here. So, and actually, you know what? Look at this right here, Eric. And I bet you if we look at yeah. So again, here's the deal, folks. We got pockets of circulation, but right now, I'd say on the western side of Princeton or just to the west of Princeton, that area along Route 6, Highway 34 is an area that certainly needs to be watched. That's one pocket, but we continue with those several areas here. Again, Princeton, Wyanett, Malden, Tiscua, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now if you haven't done so already. And just to the southeast of Langley, between Tiscua and Langley, Langley is a pretty small town there, but Route 40, east of Route 40 here, here's Tiscua to the northwest. New update, circulation there, but actually, look at that, Princeton, shelter now. That is strengthening there. Say right now between Wyanett and Princeton, there is a strengthening circulation there. I'll put the debris tracker on. Very hard probably to get any type of debris picked up this far out, but something that we need to watch, but that is very concerning. So Princeton, shelter now. Want to mention too, with all the power outages being reported, we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, on our news app, and also on our website. Head there right now if you're in the threat area here and you hit the basement. You can take us with you as you head there. We'll keep you updated and continue with the coverage. So folks in Princeton, again, shelter now if you're in the metro. That warning that was in place for Rock Island and Scott counties has been canceled. So this is the only warning besides the flash flood warnings that we have currently. Eric?
All right, yep, tornado warning there. You see it continues till 10:15, at least this one here for Bureau County. And if we could expand this to the north and west a little bit to see what's coming that way. Because
watch that in your Anawan.
Yeah, you see there's still some more of these areas where we have those reds and greens getting close to each other. So that's always giving us a little bit of suspicion there as we go right back I-80. Again, Anawan, Atkinson, Geneseo, Hoople. You can see that the heavy rain just kind of slowly moves on in, and it's a little bit progressive, but still it's lingering long enough to probably take your backyard rain gauge and tick it over that 2-inch mark in a lot of cases. But as we look a little even farther west toward the metro, we're still dealing with some heavy rain, but at least that tornado warning is gone, and the back edge at least of that wave of thunderstorms seems to be approaching West Davenport now, at least western Scott County, as it continues to move down the interstate corridor. And as far as any more circulation is concerned, yeah, it looks like we've lost that circulation that was involved with the tornado warning that we had for the metro Quad Cities. So I guess at this point, it's really more that we just go back and focus on Bureau County, or maybe take a look at some of the rainfall.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to go north here because
really adding up.
Yeah, we've got that concern that continues here. And folks, we've got crews up there, and there is street flooding that occurred in the Clinton area. Thompson had storm damage and it looks like flood damage as well. But now what we're seeing here, I think that before long, this corridor here from just west of the Quad City Metro all the way out into probably the I-39 corridor through Bureau County, I bet you this I-80 corridor will see a flash flood warning here momentarily. But based off of the video, appreciate everybody that's sending in video or pictures. Please do so safely. But we are noticing here in Bureau County, it looks like just west of Princeton at this point, it might be, I think it's at this point riding Route 6 right into town. We are noticing a lowering with what reports are of some rotation within that too. So possibility is there that the tornado could be imminent at any time with that.
Yeah, and the picture that you're talking about, Kyle, it was pretty impressive in the sense that he probably got that when there was a lightning flash.
Yeah, look at this.
And there's plenty of lightning, but now look at this. Here's Princeton proper, and we've got that circulation somewhere in that area there, just a few miles down Highway 34 from Princeton. So again, this is why it's important that you all in Princeton take shelter, especially if you're south or southwest of Princeton. You need to take shelter now because it looks like this is right on top of those areas.
Yeah, and that Hillview Drive, that's a trailer park. So folks in that mobile home community, Hillview Trailer Park, get into your shelter now. This is going to move. This is the circulation here. Essentially, at this point right over Route 6. The fairgrounds are right here, Bureau County Fairgrounds. I got the Bryant Woods subdivision, Euclid Avenue. This is moving into the southwestern portion of town. So I'd say at this point, the most significant portion, or the tornadic portion that we are tracking, strong circulation here, is going to move into the Lover's Lane area here, right here. That's that area to the south. But south of, at this point, south of Central is where the tornadic portion of the storm is going to be moving into Princeton.
All right, and we just had a flash flood warning issued for Scott and Rock Island County. So as we come back to the metro, we'll give you the lineup there in terms of where the heaviest rain has fallen. And there you can see anywhere from, say, Bettendorf or Pleasant Valley all the way back to Walcott, down south of the Mississippi, and then into Rock Island County. There's a look at our rainfall amounts. And boy, when you get to the orange there over Walcott, that's when you're dealing with over 2 inches of rain. The yellows are around 2 inches, and of course, just a little bit shy of 2 inches. And there you see, yeah, from that little peak there, 3.3 inches north of Walcott. So yeah, this is what we're looking at. This means that if you're along Duck Creek could be flooding shortly if it isn't already. And this is all going to get into the Mississippi because we've had such heavy rain north of here. Looks like the Mississippi might get a chance to even swell up over the next few days. But here's a look at our flash flood warning that drops all the way down to Coal Valley and perhaps just outside of Orion, right on the Henry County line there for Rock Island South. Not all of southern Rock Island County, but it gets pretty close. So again, as our Doppler is estimating, and there wasn't there's a little bit of hail with those storms, but I would say anywhere from 2 to possibly on the high end 3+ inches of rain. We're looking at next to Anawan there.
Yeah, like I'm concerned about that. I mean, there's a little bit of rotation there here to the west of Anawan. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning. But back to, look, there's the new tornado warning. We had that pinned down, I think, almost to a T where we had that circulation we're tracking. Here's Princeton. It's south of Central Avenue, and that's the center of town. So south of Central Avenue is the concern. This circulation right now, it's going to be right over top of the Lover's Lane area here. And I would say, too, if you're in Tisqua, you are now under that warning. So Tisqua, you're now under a tornado warning. You need to take your tornado precautions. We'll be kind of warning you about that, but also off towards Bureau Junction, possibly into Depew as well. Actually, Depew's on the edge of it, but I-180 corridor here into southern parts of Bureau County. But Tisqua, Princeton still includes areas like Malden and, of course, Princeton. Now, that keeps intensifying. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm really concerned about this. It looks like right now we have this circulation here on the southwest side of Princeton. So right here, it continues over Route 6. And unfortunately, if there is a tornado, it's not moving very fast. So it's going to be over this area. It's kind of sitting there. But Oak Ridge Lane, here's that subdivision here on the southwest part of town. That is going to be impacted. But Route 6, Route 34 area, along and south of that right now, is where that circulation, possible tornado, continues here in the west and southwestern portion of Princeton.
And yeah, because that warning goes till 11 o'clock, I mean, this one that was just extended from our first Bureau County warning, that just goes to show you that how slowly this storm is moving. So we've outlined that threat now just outside of Princeton. Nothing in terms of debris that looks anything notable at this point. But again, that's far from the radar site. But what we can do is pick up the circulation here, and that's a strong circulation. It seems to be cycling, as the Weather Service keeps talking about, and so we get these brighter greens every now and then and the brighter reds. So they're south of Highway 34 with this tornado dropping almost due southeast now, based on the alignment of this warning box. This is going to be in play here for that southern portion of Bureau County for a little bit longer as we get into the late evening now.
Okay, I want to mention too, we've got viewer reports on 19th Avenue this is in Moline. I live on 19th Avenue, so I'm not too looking forward to what to come home to, but they are saying that there is an active flash flood happening with street flooding going on right now. If we can get a crew out there too, that would be great to see what's going on, because now, again, in the metro, we're dealing with that. But
flash flood warning, yeah.
Flash flood warning does continue for Scott and Rock Island counties. Right now, the big concern is this very strong circulation. We talk about, this is the wind velocity. Red is wind moving away from the radar. Radar is back here in Davenport. Green towards, that's the spin happening, so you just kind of center that up. It's right over top of Lovers Lane Road. Here's Taylor Thomas Road, and here's Main Street that goes south. It is going to cross Main Street, here Thompson Street, so everybody knows where Thompson Street is in Princeton. It's going to be riding right over top of Thompson Street. Again, at this point, Central Avenue and points to the south, you need to be in your shelters right now. This is a pretty dangerous situation, very strong circulation, and probably, I think, out of all the tornadic storms we've seen today, probably one of the strongest and one of the most consistent. I mean, most storms that we've had have been kind of weak, and they might get going for a scan or two. This one's been fairly consistent, which is a concern.
All right, could you bring this out just a little bit, because I want to show people how far or how much left of Bureau County this has to traverse here. And that first warning was just allowed to expire, but it's the current one that goes to 11. And there you can see this goes right to that far southeast corner of Bureau County. Doesn't include that southern jaunt there, but that far southeastern corner of Bureau County. So this is a warning that goes till 11 o'clock. So this is a pretty slow moving system, yet the reflectivity that we've got on it is pretty high for this far away from the radar site. So southeast of Princeton proper, just southeast or southwest, I should say, southwest part of town, as we're showing you. Again, that's where we have this possible tornado along Interstate 80 all the way back to the metro into Moline, where we're getting some reports of ponding of water. Any creek in the Quad Cities, Duck Creek, Crow Creek, anything, Goose Creek, these are all going to be susceptible to flooding here. The rain is moving out of the metro Quad Cities, still about halfway to go. Moline, Rock Island, and the southeastern communities. However, it looks to have cleared Davenport already, but now it's just the time of draining, and that flash flood warning for the metro goes till 4:15 in the morning. So a lot of effects to come from that blast of heavy rain we've had in about the last couple and a half hours. And you can see the rain stacking up right where the storms are now along Interstate 80, and that rain is stacking up fast. It's piling up quickly because there are such slow moving storms with such intense rainfall rates, hourly rainfall rates, probably between 1 and 2 inches. And that's why we've got those totals of about 1 or 2 right along Interstate 80. And there is that last batch of storms that will continue to drop a little bit south, farther south, as we finish off the evening here, and back to our tornado warning till 11 p.m. And there's that spin just southwest of Princeton, probably nipping the southwest portion of town, now north of Tuscaloosa. And there you go with our up to the minute street level mapping here. From Main Street, where it extends south of downtown, 1250 North Street, and right in this area here, south of Highway 34, as Kyle's been talking about, Lovers Lane Road a lot. That's kind of where this one is centered right now. Yeah, and so I would say, and on top of that, folks, here, even if that, if it's a broad circulation, we're still seeing winds that could be gusting. Check this out. No, that's not good. 76-mile-an-hour winds here on the western fringe of Princeton. Again, Princeton, you need to be sheltered. Now, Tisqua, though, too. I mean, Tisqua, this is going to be heading towards you momentarily. And I want to mention, too, we are getting numerous reports at this time of major flooding happening here in the metro. We are dispersing crews out to the metro area. I got to tell you, folks, if you're in a low-lying area that is prone to flash flooding, you need to evacuate now. Now's the time. This is a dangerous situation. I also want to mention, too, along the Rock River, along the Mississippi River, we had a ton of rainfall just fall up in Clinton area and to the north. That's all going to come downstream, and on top of it, all the rain that just fell here has got to go somewhere. We're going to be talking about a major flood situation here, I think, ongoing, but also continuing into the night. So if you're in a flood-prone area here in the metro, you need to act now. You need to get out and think about evacuating your area because we do have that flash flood warning. Again, back to this tornado warning. Eric, you got? Yeah, did you see this? We've got 2 to 3 feet of water over the intersection of 18th Avenue and 12th in Moline. Cars stalled in the water. 2 to 3 feet of standing water in portions of Moline. So that's why we have our flash flood warning here in the metro. And I'm going to say this right now. If we got, I know any of our crews that are watching, let's get to Moline because we need to, it looks like we've got a major flood situation happening in downtown Moline along River Drive at this time too. So again, we're going to stay with that too. We've got that. We've got 2 things going on. We've got that flash flooding, but also this right now. This is a dangerous situation here in Bureau County. We continue with that tornado warning until 11 o'clock. I'm going to put a path on this. Boy, this thing is a slow mover. I mean, it is pretty much parked
over top of this area here southwest of Princeton. But you know, we got this. Here's let's see here. We got Park Avenue. It's right over top of Park Avenue West. Maybe just to the south of Park Avenue is where that circulation is, but also some pretty damaging to potentially destructive winds. So I'm gonna put a path on this and get some of the towns to the south, and we'll get a. Let's see how what we got for speed on this here. Oh wow, yeah, they slowed it down. Southeast at 20 miles an hour. So we're going to see I think flash flooding is going to be a concern here too. But going 20 miles an hour here to the southeast, we continue with that. We'll get some towns in here. You can see Bureau Junction, 1044. Liebertown Elementary School is in Bureau Junction there, 1044. And then eventually into the Hennepin area and Putnam County here, closing in on the 11 o'clock hour. But dangerous storm there. And another pocket of circulation maybe, Eric, there. Look at that, to the northwest of Princeton once again, developing there. So I wonder if we've got some resurgence happening here. Looks like it, just on the northwest side of town. So everybody in Princeton should continue. Especially after that, got a little uptick in you see that red pixel there, kind of a sign that maybe we've got some strengthening right along I-80 here. So there's also a trailer park up here on the north side of town too, right off of Backbone Road, actually right there. But Marquette Street, you see Euclid, again, everybody in Princeton should be taking their tornado precautions right now if you haven't done so already. On top of that potential for a tornado damaging to at times destructive winds, if we're getting up to 75-mile-an-hour winds, that can certainly do quite a bit of damage. But two circulations we're watching there. I'm going to go back to the metro. That area that we were watching near Anawan, it is weakened, which is good news, but still can see some damaging winds. But again, right now, immediate threat is, I think right now here for the metro, is this evolving emergency that's happening in the metro. Looks like Moline, we've got some major flash flooding happening. Again, I want to reiterate, if you are in a flood-prone area, now's the time you need to evacuate. This is a dangerous situation here for the metro and for those flood-prone areas.
Yeah, we've had in excess of 2 to as much as 3 inches of rain just from this last storm that's passed on through, and it is working its way down Interstate 80. So the actual falling rain is now working its way south and east of much of the Metro Quad cities. Still a little bit left there at the I-280, I-74 interchange near the airport, and then east of that, right up to the southern portion of the Mississippi, right there around or just south of LeClaire on the Illinois side there, Rapid City and such, and Hampton. But again, as this continues to clear, that's great, but it's all the drainage that will continue now for a few hours with those rainfall amounts. That's why our flash flood warning here goes until 4:15. Now, one of the warnings that we had issued earlier this evening for our northern counties has been canceled, but the rest of those go to 1:15 or 2:45 here till 2:15. Here in the metro, that flash flood warning, I'm sorry, 4:15. But again, it's just going to take hours for that water to drain out. Here now on the leading edge of these storms, again, tornado possible with this severe thunderstorm because these storms are dropping into areas that haven't had rain this evening. So they're still more humid, warmer, more unstable. So even here, as we go past nearly 10:30 almost, we're getting the strength of these storms. And this one here now south of Preemption, south of Orion, working its way down I-74 and Highway 150 toward Woodhull, and southwestern Henry County, Illinois, northeastern Mercer County. And there you can see that more circulations kind of trending up here. Air going toward the radar site, away from it. A little bit convoluted there, but it is certainly a signature that does bear watching. And that's why this new severe thunderstorm warning with possible tornado nomenclature has been issued. That goes till 11:30 for portions of Rock Island, Mercer, and Henry County, Illinois. Back to our tornado warning.
Yeah, still continue with that circulation. Yeah, a couple pockets still there.
Princeton, north of Tuscola and west of Princeton. Yeah,
it's gonna be probably. Let's see here. Yeah, right now kind of over some open area. Lover's Lane area still continue with your tornado precautions. South of Princeton is where this main circulation is, but again, folks, we're still holding on to a little bit weaker or smaller area, but just south of I-80 here, about to head into Princeton right now. Reports from some people I've been talking to in Princeton saying very heavy rainfall, torrential rainfall at this time. So no reports of confirmed tornadoes, but I can tell you just based on some of the pictures, no doubt there is a large lowering, and according to somebody who sent me some video of it, looks like there is some rotation in there too, so that continues on. at any moment that, if it's not produced a tornado, it could produce a tornado at any time. So you want to take that very seriously. But just on the northeastern fringe of Tisqua right here is where we've got that circulation. So here's the Tisqua Bottom Road that takes you to 180, and it is heading towards Bureau Junction. So Bureau Junction should be taking your tornado precautions right now. Let's see here. We are getting an uptick in power outages too here in the metro. We want to watch too if we got anything out in this part of town, or this part of the viewing area rather. But hold on to that circulation and continue with that tornado warning here. Again, for Bureau County, includes Princeton, and I'd say Wyanett too, down towards Tisqua, Bureau Junction. You need to continue with your tornado precautions. We'll let you know when it's good to come out of the basement here. But we got that new severe thunderstorm warning too that was issued from kind of down the Route 74 corridor from Woodhull up to the north towards Orion. We continue, and again, it is tagged tornado possible, so we're watching that. Again, what I am most concerned about at this time for the metro, I mean, all these are concerning situations, but it is the ongoing flash flood situation. We've got the flash flood warning in place, but we are hearing reports in Moline, and that's confirmed from some of our TV6 employees, that there is an ongoing flood situation. So I'd like to mention to the news desk, if you guys get anything or have any information, let us know, jump in and give us that information, because that is a very serious situation going on. But still very active situation here going into the night tonight.
Yeah, and it's been a while. It's been years since we've had this much water and reports of that much water, standing water. 1 to 2 feet in Clinton, now 2-3 feet in Moline. That's certainly the main danger in the Metro Quad cities. We've got that tornado possible with this warning here in southern portions of Rock Island County, northeastern Mercer County, southwestern Henry County, Illinois, and then of course our ongoing tornado warning in Princeton. But to the desk now we'll go. Will Ingalls talking about a little bit of power outage info across the area.
Yeah, Eric, it's widespread. So if you go on ComEd, you can see their area that they served. Kind of a full piece. If you go along the Highway 30 corridor, you have about 800 power outages kind of centered around that Morrison area. Sterling also has a lot of impacts as well. For the Quad Cities Metro, when you look at Mid-American, you're looking close to 500, give or take 490 between the Illinois and Iowa Quad Cities. And then Clinton looks to have a lot of their stuff restored. They were up around 500 power outages a little bit earlier this evening as you guys were on the air and talking about those storms. But those are kind of the power outages we have at this time. Of course, as you've mentioned, the big concern now isn't quite those big sweeping winds as much as it is the water that will be flooding into our area. There is the Mid-American map right now, and you can kind of see those power outages. No real line. They are just kind of scattered across the Quad Cities on both sides of the Mississippi River. And it looks like there might be a couple of things you guys want to look at as far as the maps as well. Kyle.
Yeah, let's just dive back in, and I'll head over to Eric here in just a second. We continue with that tornado warning here for Bureau County. I would say right now the circulation, it is south of Princeton, although Princeton, you're dealing with very heavy rainfall, getting a lot of reports of just a torrential downpour happening right now. So Princeton's no stranger to flooding too, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing that here, really in that entire corridor, I think, in Bureau County. But we are noticing that strengthening. Again, the circulation is primarily at this point on the eastern side of Tisqua. Tisqua, you want to continue with your tornado precautions, but it is heading right towards Bureau Junction. So Bureau Junction, take this warning seriously and get to shelter right now. Again, on top of that, circulation and possible tornado, we do continue with some very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, just a dangerous storm moving through Bureau County at this time.
Yeah, maybe we can take a look at reflectivity across the area, because again, we're looking at the very heavy rainfall, and that again, as we've been pointing out, is the main threat for the Metro Quad cities. This is the latest flash flood warning, and look at this, we've got some more storms trying to build. This boundary just sticks to the ground here, so we've got the unstable air that's trying to make more storms form along it, as that area to the south is still pretty warm, still pretty humid. Unfortunately, it's that the humidity. I mean, dew points near or above 70 degrees throughout the last few days. The atmosphere loaded with moisture. That's coming out in the form of this heavy rain. And as you can see, more storms trying to form perhaps just off to the west, which will encompass our southern counties. Here's a look at our severe thunderstorm warning that's just been extended now into northern Knox County. That will go till 11:30. It's a standard warning there. there, 60-mile-per-hour winds, 3/4 inch hail, but we back up to where it is in the closer to the Metro Quad cities, and here we're dealing with enough circulation on the leading edge of that storm system that we're looking at a tornado possible tag on that warning. So everybody within these areas should be in shelter. Yeah, now northern Knox, but certainly anywhere from eastern and northeastern Mercer County into southwestern and south central Henry County, even that little area of Rock Island County that's included in this warning. You should be in shelter unless you're in a flood prone area. And then if those rains are starting to pick up, keep an eye on that. So you're kind of looking at ground level from below it, half below it, and half above it to see that you're not getting into a flood threat. Keep that in mind. And anywhere along that line of storms that continues along the I-80 corridor now east of the Metro Quad cities with these persistent 1 to 2 inch rains per hour, you need to be keeping tabs on. If you are in a flood prone area, you're going to need to act soon. You're going to need to get to higher ground. And there you see some of those rainfall amounts, anything in yellow around 1 to 2 inches, anything toward orange up to about 3 inches.
Wow.
And there is our flash flood warning, and there are some of the accumulations. There has been a little bit of hail here, but not much. So when we're looking at portions of Rock Island County there, around 4 to 5 inches of rain, yeah, that's something that I think we can probably believe. And this is what's the, well, boy, wow, right down River Drive.
Yeah, River Drive, Moline. This is the area
into downtown Moline and the heart of Moline there. Boy, that's where we're looking at these reports of standing water. So this is why we have such a problem. This is just in an hour, 3 to 4 inches of rain. And, you know, in some areas, we might be having a little bit more of that. So if you're in a flood-prone area, you really need to be taking action tonight.
Yeah, and I want to mention, too, as I mentioned before, we have crews on the way to Moline, and once they have a live shot set up, we're going to show you those live pictures. But again, to reiterate, if you're in a flood-prone area, you need to be out, take precautions now, and seek higher ground if you have to. Do so immediately. We'll go back to the tornado warning. If you're with us in Bureau County, we continue with that tornado warning here. Of course, and there's back building here too, so we want to watch those. No circulation there to the northwest, but we do hold on to that circulation here right to the northeast, getting ready to encroach on the I-180 corridor here, heading right towards Bureau Junction at this time.
Yeah, that's the Illinois River in that vicinity as it continues to move to the south and east. And yeah, 180 right there. And this is where we're looking at. Again, let me give you an idea of what we're seeing here. This doesn't look like the normal radar product, but with wind velocity, we're looking at the movement toward the radar site in green, away from the radar site in red. So right in between there, that's where we're looking at that circulation. And again, now we're south of Princeton. This heads toward Bureau Junction by 1045, Hennepin 1053. 1104, it's over to Mark, and again, this is now around and just to the northeast or east of Tuscaloosa. As we see the continuation of this tornado warning, this goes till 11 o'clock, and again, slow movement here. That's why we're still looking at this warning, even a small portion of it still extending to 11 p.m. because of the 20 to 30 mile per hour movement of this storm, and that's unfortunately the same speed pretty much as the rainfall. So it is just piling up because it is not clearing any particular area anytime soon. So that's why we're getting the 1 to 2 inch, if not more, rainfall rates per hour. And that's why we're having some flooding issues as well. So there you go. That's the portion of, there's Tuscaloosa now. This circulation to the east, northeast of Tuscaloosa, south of Princeton proper, right there between 2250 Street and 2050 East Street in Bureau County, rural Bureau County, just north and west of the Tuscaloosa Bottom Road. And there's Bureau Junction coming into play now too.
Okay, we've got a new flash flood warning here for the Metro Quad Cities. This is on top of the flash flood warning that was issued, and it is for that area. I haven't seen this before.
I've not either.
Well, folks, this is a flash flood emergency. That's why we have a considerable threat on this. This is as serious as it gets when it comes to flash flooding. We've been talking about this. This is, if you're in that low-lying area, you have to evacuate now. Just as we talk about with severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, look at this was marked considerable threat. Considerable, yeah. And that's rare for our area. We get flash flood warnings, but now this is a heightened deal. This is very serious. If you're in this area, it goes from, I mean, it is pretty much that area that we had pinned down there on with that rainfall total. But from Riverdale to East Moline, all the way through Avenue of the Cities, over my house, down to the I-280 corridor here, up to Telegraph Road, into downtown Davenport too. So we got to watch River Drive area as well. That is the area of this is a flash flood emergency now for a majority of the metro Quad Cities.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a flash flood warning with the considerable damage tag on it, and that's exactly what we have. So until this all finds its way to the Mississippi, it is going through a lot of concrete, so it's not going to be soaking up, and that's why we're looking at reports of multiple feet of water standing in portions of Moline, probably in spots of Davenport too. I mean, everything coming down, say, right outside the studio here, everything coming down Brady Street Hill, or any of these roads from the top of the bluff down into the downtown area. So we could be seeing some cascading water in places, and if you are at the bottom, down toward 4th and 5th and 6th Streets, even farther south than that, below that, 2nd or 3rd Street, this is where water in Davenport could be starting to pile up. And of course, Rock Island, Moline, these areas that have already reported standing water in terms of feet. That's why this is a considerable flash flood warning, and that means it is certainly a considerable threat for the remainder of the night here.
I'd like to mention, so here's what we've got. I'm going to read this kind of verbatim. We're getting this, I'm going to read this together with you folks here. The verbiage is a little intense here on this flash flood warning. At 10:33, emergency management reported thunderstorms producing heavy rain, leading to deep water over the roads through the Quad Cities metro. Specifically, cars have been stranded in water along River Drive and 2nd Street in Davenport. Let's get a crew down there. So River Drive, 2nd Street, or close to it. We don't want our crews to go through that. But between 2 and 4 inches of rain have fallen. Flash flooding is ongoing. The hazard is life-threatening flash flooding. Again, I don't know that I've ever seen this for our area, but this is a flash flood emergency for the metro Quad Cities. If you are in those flood-prone areas specifically, but I would say here too, probably any low-lying area at this point, Eric, along the river. Yeah. This is extreme. This is pretty intense. We've seen what has happened across the area here, or across the country, I should say, in the last several days with flooding. We don't want to repeat that. But we're getting reports that cars are stranded. Don't drive in flooded road in any flooded area. So take this very seriously, folks. This is very serious situation here for the metro.
Yeah, water.
2nd Street and River Drive.
2nd Street,
we've
River
got
Drive.
Reports of cars.
Water up to their doors.
Right around the Arsenal Bridge.
That would be. You know what? I'm gonna take
that area there.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Skyview and see what we can.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you do that? This would be down toward the Quad City Times, that area there, and right toward the Arsenal Bridge. So again, what we're outlining here is this is our considerable flash flood warning. In all the years I've been here, I don't believe I've ever seen a flash flood warning with considerable on it. And again, because of the slow movement of this rain and the fact that we're looking at 1 to 2+ inches of rain per hour falling, that means if you are in Rock Island, toward downtown, toward the river, Moline, especially toward the river, all the way out River Drive, toward the Bend, anywhere here in Scott County that's east of I-74 over to Interstate 80. There's Riverdale, almost over to Interstate 80, but certainly from I-74, Jersey Ridge Road, there you see Welcome Way, and then Brady going back up north. There's Telegraph Road, there's the West End. These areas are all susceptible to flooding, especially if you're on the low end. If you look to the north or look toward the north and see the bluffs or see a big hill, which we know a lot of that for Davenport. East Village, these are areas that are likely going to be seeing maybe some grates pop off, or those manhole covers pop off just because of the force of the water. That's another area. Again, yeah, the village of East Davenport, where we always see River Drive flooding there, right there around Mound Street down toward the park and just outside the marina there, where the tracks go through those low areas, downtown. Again, by the Quad City Times, where when those heavy rains fall like tonight, we see 2nd Drive or 2nd and River.
Oh my God,
flooding. Do we need to take?
Yeah, look at East. I've got some video from a viewer. You just mentioned East Village. We were seeing
Yeah.
Well, it's typical there for East Village, I would say.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Skyview. I'm not immediately noticing anything.
But go back to that really quickly. I just want to point out, see, this is a flash flood warning within a flash flood warning.
Yeah.
A lot of the metro in the flash flood warning, but this area here getting hit particularly hard, that's kind of our concrete jungle, folks. That's where the water doesn't get a chance to soak in very fast.
Yeah. Also, you don't want to lose focus here on these other storms that we've got. Metro folks, stay with us here. We got to update our folks here in the path of. Look at that, just to the west of Woodhull.
Woodhull, yeah.
I'm concerned about
Another
that. We might have a
circulation.
circulation developing here. We hold on to that tornado possible tag, but moving right over top of Woodhull right now. I'd be in your basements, honestly, if you're in Woodhull. Looks like we've got a circulation there. Eventually, here, Altona, along the Route 34 corridor there, get ready for that. But on top of that, 60-mile-an-hour winds, maybe up to quarter-sized hail with that. Looking back here at our tornado warning in Bureau County, we hold on to that circulations over the Tisqua Bottom Road at this time. Essentially, at this point, it is riding the I-180 corridor here, skirting Bureau Junction. Might go just south of Bureau Junction here, or I would say in Bureau Junction, probably a little too close for comfort. But right now, Tisqua Bottom Road and I-180, that is where that is moving over right now. Still some damaging wind potential there. We'll back things up. I will say, though, if you're in the Princeton area, we've got some weak circulations to the northwest, nothing I'm too concerned with, so you can go ahead and come out of your basements now. And the storm is starting to kind of tail out here a little bit.
Well, we've got some interesting word from the Putnam County emergency manager that he's looking toward the storm. The lightning helps him see a little bit of structure hanging down from the cloud base, but it's really tough for him to determine whether it's a funnel cloud or just what we call scud clouds.
Yeah,
We've talked about those lately.
So I would say, yeah, Bureau Junction, southeastern Bureau County, and even if you're into places like Hennepin, northwestern Putnam County, is it going to hurt to take tornado precautions there too? So continue with that. But right now, out of the current storms that we have, the strongest and most significant, aside from that area of circulation, again, it is looking like it's weakening here in Bureau County. It is this storm here into Henry County. Again, circulation is noted here near the Woodhull area, moving into the Oneida, northern Knox County, Altona. Kewanee, you're getting a heavy storm move through at this time. Cambridge had viewer send in a comment saying it is lightning, it is thundering. Certainly the case, getting a lot of heavy rainfall there too. So that is what we have right now. Again, tornado warning continues for southeastern Bureau County. Again, that is Tisqua Bottom Road down towards Bureau Junction until I believe that was 11:15. Very slow moving storm there. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning until 11:30 for Henry County and a little portion of Mercer County, but I think most of that's out. Knox County goes until 11:30. But again, we're going to take our attention back to the metro. A very serious situation unfolding here in the Metro Quad Cities with a considerable situation, what we could consider to be a life-threatening situation, as is noted by the National Weather Service. And we got another cell, and this is not good. We got another heavy cell here developing, moving right over top of the area here that has just been hammered with very heavy rainfall. So going to look at that here. Yeah, there's more development happening.
Yeah.
And going right over top of this is training of storms. Not good. This is not a good situation, folks.
And remember, if you look back to the west, there were some more forming, and
Yeah.
that's starting to get in now, and that's only going to aggravate the situation.
Yeah. So, again, folks, I want to, as Eric mentioned, this is a flash flood warning within a flash flood warning here, and the reason is we've got a considerable situation happening here. Unfortunately, it is squared up right over top of the downtown region of Rock Island, downtown of Davenport, downtown of Moline. Even into parts of Bettendorf, too, want to mention there, too. There is probably some flooding going on there as well. But we have lots of reports right now coming into the newsroom here of standing water on roadways. We're talking feet of water, specifically River Drive in Moline, also River Drive in Davenport. We got reports of stalled cars. I want to reiterate, even if you have to evacuate and use a car, you got to find a way, and that's why it's very important that you act very quickly because the water rises so quickly. And what happens is you get stuck, and that causes issues. And unfortunately, we are getting reports of people stranded here on roadways. I'm not sure if we've had any water rescues or if that's a thing right now. I'm sure if we've got people stranded, that is going to be a thing. So right now, it is a very serious situation. Our area law enforcement and first responders will be very tied up with this. you need to move to higher ground if you are in that flood-prone area, specifically in that warned area there. And that does include downtown Davenport. I was looking at Skyview, and it looks like there is some standing water on roadways here in the downtown region, but I'm not really noticing anything notably significant. But look at how dark it is. I mean, we're not going to see much. So
yeah, there's another the camera from Modern Woodman. It's going between the railroad bridge. It looks like there is some traffic moving on River Drive. If we want to take that other camera, I know we don't want to linger on it because it's not a great shot. But if we get a chance to take that other camera that's kind of shooting between the Arsenal Island Bridge, the government bridge there, you'll see that there is some traffic moving along River Drive right around here. There's the bridge. And I do want to say that we've got reports now, even in Princeton, that there has been some basement flooding. And what do you do with that if you've got a tornado warning and your basement's flooded? Again, that's what we were talking about before, kind of playing that game where you're half above ground, half below ground because of the combination of what's happening. And again, our radar is now showing here, as we have been showing for a few moments, another pretty decent shower right in our considerable damage possible flash flood warning here, mostly over Rock Island. But again, as we were showing you a little bit earlier, we have more showers and thunderstorms developing or trying to develop along this boundary that's just kind of stuck along Interstate 80 west of the Quad Cities. So more development there coming into the area. That's just going to aggravate the situation. And our reports are still somewhat sporadic, but as Kyle was just showing me some video from the village of East Davenport, pretty good amounts of water along the roadway, at least over the curb. And again, that's something we're likely going to see over much of this area here when you get up to the Mississippi River from the downtown areas where we've got all that water coming off the higher elevations down into the Mississippi Valley. And that's certainly something that can be probably said for East Moline, Moline and Rock Island as well. This considerable, yeah, that's the shot right there. Again, what you can see is that certainly we've got a little bit of traffic, and that's probably good news because that might mean that some of the earlier reports of the really heavy rainfall didn't amount to that much in some of our more flood-prone locations here in downtown Davenport. So we'll just have to keep tabs on this and see how things go with more reports coming in minute by minute.
Yeah, we got 12 minutes left on that tornado warning here for Bureau County. But folks, we're going to stay with you here as we've got a very dangerous situation unfolding for the Metro. And again, we have crews en route to these areas. Of course, we want to keep our crews safe too, and we don't want them traveling through flooded roadways. A new report here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see where that's at, or that's going to be for Bureau County here. So let's see, get the info on that. And you can see. Yeah, it's going to get that. There we go.
Bureau Putnam Henry.
Just hold on to that tornado possible tag too on that.
That will go to 11:45.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you've got that on the map already.
Yep, Bureau Henry, Putnam County until 11:45. So this is really taking that whole extent of that warning, which we've been talking about here too. I mentioned folks in Kewanee, nasty cell moving through, and I'm noticing a big uptick in that lightning, which is a sign it's strengthening. So we've got that. We've also got this section here, portion of kind of the southwestern fringe of this warning, where we've got that severe thunderstorm warning with, it is tagged tornado possible, but looks like it might be weakening a little bit. I think the strongest portion of this storm is moving through the Kewanee area at this time, but we do continue with that circulation. Was watching that too, and kind of impressed. Wow, actually, that's right over top of Bureau Junction. You folks in Bureau Junction, hopefully you are in your shelters now. Out of all the circulations we've seen today, this one has been the most consistent here of them all.
Yeah, and if I don't want to take too much attention off or too much focus off of this. Again, here we're now east of 180 in extreme southeastern Bureau County. There is the circulation that we are talking about within our warning that goes till 11 p.m. So this one here probably will be allowed to expire at 11 p.m. when it's run its course. And then as this possible tornado gets into Putnam County, we will leave it. But of course, we've got the flooding emergency here in the Metro Quad Cities. And back off to the west, I'm going to step off here so I can show you what we do have coming, because again, more storms are forming off to the west, and what that means is that we've got the potential for some possibly heavy rain to come even later into tonight. But there you see, as we get past Muscatine and Louisa County, there we go, more very heavy rains forming very quickly, even a little bit of hail possible there. But again, you can really see that line where those are forming. That is our boundary, and that thing is just stuck, and that just could be the impetus for more storms as we go through the remainder of the night. And as they all do drop south, I mean, that's all we really have to look forward to. No matter how far west they form, at least they do continue to drop south very slowly. So at some point, they will be less of a threat to the TV6 viewing area, but they've got all of Knox County to get through, all of Henderson and Warren County to get through, and southeast Iowa, all these counties to get through before they're south of our viewing area. And boy, by that time, it's probably going to be midnight, 1 a.m. perhaps, because these are really slow movers in terms of their southern movement. But there you see what the main focus will be shortly here after we get rid of our tornado warning in minutes in Bureau County. That will be the continued flooding emergency we have for the Quad Cities.
Yeah,
Metro.
we got a crew right now getting specifics here, and they're going to have a live shot up here soon. But they are at an area where crews do have the roads blocked off. So, and I'm trying to get specifics. I believe they are in Moline. So there is active flash flooding occurring right now. I will say this one good note. Okay, and new warning here for Bureau County too. You're dealing with the same thing.
It's going to be a flash flood warning.
Flash flood warning now in effect too. We had that report too, as Eric mentioned here, about some basement flooding occurring right now in that area. So I actually think that this warning is so new that the that the box is not wanting to pop up there. But we continue with that tornado warning here. Just a few more minutes on that, but we are holding on to that circulation there, right over top of Bureau Junction, and heading towards Hennepin. Again, that'll be out of our viewing area, but I know we got folks in Hennepin that watch us, and heads up to you. But from Seatonville, Delzell, over towards Spring Valley, down into the Depew area, Bureau Junction, all the way into Henry County. We're talking Kewanee area, even maybe towards the Sheffield area. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning, damaging winds, lots of very heavy rainfall. Obviously, we got that flash flood warning there too. Maybe some circulations too within this line, aside from what is tornado warned. So we're going to watch that closely. But Kewanee, you want to continue there in Kewanee to be watched now, because we want to watch this area, a little inflection here of maybe some rotation, but lots of lightning there that we're noticing. And then of course that the southwestern portion of this that's moving into Knox County, you folks over towards Watauga, Altona, it is weakening. I will say that this portion of the storm is on a downtrend, which is good news, but we're starting to see, we get that circulation marker there being picked up by radar here near the Kewanee area. That's an area that we are going to watch closely, but look at this. The storm is sitting over top of Rock Island right now and not moving very fast at all. Look at that, it's just training right over top of each other.
That flash flood warning we have that includes Bureau County, that goes till 5 a.m. And again, what we are looking at, these little pockets of rotation that are popping up here and there, they don't seem to be anything more than short-lived. So the Weather Service isn't paying too much attention in terms of not getting too worried about them. But again, we still will occasionally pick up these little spins on radar, and right off the boundary that's now slowly settling to the south, and it's going to be a slow move. We still have these storms moving on in. We've got a lot of humid air. We've got a general west to east flow here. So these things hit that boundary. They just trigger a little bit, and then before you know it, they're grabbing onto all the humidity to the south of that little boundary, that little line, and you can kind of see it right there. And they are picking up quick developments. So the heavy rain could lead to more flash flood warnings. But again, the latest was that one we had for Bureau County. Also, we have the two for the Metro Quad Cities, that small one that includes really the downtown areas, downtown Davenport, Moline, and Rock Island, with the considerable damage tag on that little box right there. So that's what we've got going on right now. Somebody talked to me in the control room. I don't know. You said a lot. I didn't really understand what you said. If we've got some video, we can show it. If not, we'll just Okay, we got a minute away from some video, likely from flooding. And again, this is it. Tornado warning that continues just for a few more minutes now for southern Bureau County, southeastern Bureau County. And again, this was the latest ad. That green box right there, that's a flash flood warning. That's what goes till 5 a.m. Again, everybody along this line susceptible to flash flooding. And because of the slow movement of the storms through Bureau County, that has prompted that. There's our tornado warning with the circulation right around Hennepin and continuing to move east. Then we have the yellow boxes, which are severe thunderstorm warnings for the leading edge of these storms, which again turn your weather from just warm and humid to active very, very quickly. We've got those storms for Stark County, warnings for southern Bureau County, southern Henry County, northern Knox County. So that Henry portion, Mercer and Rock Island portion of that warning is done, but we still have that extending for that leading edge there of that blast of wind and a little bit of rotation, but not really for this warning. It's still just a standard severe thunderstorm warning for northern Knox County. More storms coming in from the west.
Apologies there. Okay, there we go. And I know we've got viewers out into the Stark County region here. They did extend that severe thunderstorm warning. No surprise there. But I'm getting reports here from some folks I know in the Princeton area. There is a lot of basement flooding happening right now, which is something that unfortunately does happen. So the storm sewers, with this amount of rainfall, I don't think there's any infrastructure you could have that can manage this amount of water moving through it. And so all across the viewing area, from Clinton area up to the north here, and also into the metro, of course, we are seeing that flooding going on. I know you're pretty surprised by something you're getting there, a report that...
Yeah, Princeton, over 3 1/4 inches of rain.
Wow.
And back to the north, Sebula, Iowa, from earlier this evening, the fire department is helping pump water out of houses.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm looking here at my... So I live in Moline, in one of the affected areas here, and I'm looking through my Ring doorbell, and I'm noticing some standing water out in front of my house. So again, you don't want to drive through this, folks. This is a very serious situation. And again, I don't think we need to, talk. One thing we've noticed here, obviously, in the last several days is that flooding has been a big issue across the country, specifically flash flooding. So take this very seriously, folks. As we continue to track this, I want to get some information here on this, once again, on this flash flood warning. Okay, we got a live shot coming up here.
Live report soon.
So once we get that up, we will jump to that. But let's see here.
Getting a report from some family members here. River Drive being closed around the Enchanted Island area, out that way anyway, in the west end. In the low spots. So yeah, that's Davenport, of course. And here's another, just a review of what we've got going on. It's this line of thunderstorms. Just imagine me drawing a line on the map. That's kind of the boundary. And you can see how all those thunderstorms kind of form right along that. Rain-cooled air, slightly cooled air from the north. The earlier thunderstorms pushing that boundary a little south, but slowly. That's why these storms, unfortunately, are slow movers. That's why with 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour, if not more, the rain is allowed to pile up and we get the flooding. So again, out toward Muscatine and Louisa County, our next line of storms to come. And as we go east here, our tornado warning still continues for another couple minutes for portions of Bureau County right there. And you can see that that will be an area, again, of prime flooding. We've got reports of, even in Princeton, water filling basements. And again, was going to show you the leading edge, if we could take off that highlight there, the scope. Yeah, look at the leading edge here, that sharp leading edge. That means we've got the storms going into very warm, humid air, and that's what's giving these some energy. They're finding that warm, humid air just south of the boundary. So not only are we getting the torrential rain, but as they're grabbing hold of that humidity, but we're also, in cases of storms that are quickly developing, getting some of that rotation. And that's what we've had a history of around west of and southwest and south of Princeton, now southeast of Princeton, in that little corner of southern Bureau County. We back off and we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow, some of those tornado possible. But again, it's going to be mainly a wind and rain threat. Yeah, but we can't rule out any more isolated tornadoes. But we do have live report now. I believe this is going to be in Davenport, where we've got some high water. So take it away, our KWQC reporter.
Yeah, I think we got Kate. Yep, there's Kate right now.
Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, that's right. We're here in downtown Moline near the Riverside Pond, and it's kind of raining right now, but there was an officer that was just here on scene with his lights on, blocking it off. And if you can kind of see behind me, there are some traffic cones kind of blocking this street, as there was some flooding a little bit further up. Now it has gone down, and that officer has kind of moved away from the scene right now, but obviously there's still traffic cones up here, so they don't want traffic coming through here. Again, the location that I'm at is near the Riverside Pond in Moline. We've gotten lots of reports of flooding, so of course we're going to continue to follow that. But for now, reporting in Moline, Kate Kopatich, KWQC TV 6 News.
All right, everybody hopefully safe out there, and hey, I'm just wondering if she's seen anybody around. Maybe she can get word from some folks. By the way, it's 11 o'clock. It is severe storm coverage and flash flooding coverage now on KWQC TV 6 in Davenport. And we do have some more video from Moline available on this night, where we've seen for the first time in the Quad Cities in a long time, if not ever, a flash flood warning with a considerable damage tag because of the amount of water. So let's take a look at some of that video from Moline. And there is the wind pushing little waves across the street with that heavy rain. Of course, let's consider it a no-wake zone. If you have to go through this stuff, and I mean that seriously, go slow so you're not pushing water into other people's properties. If it's just under basement window level, you know, you go through and cause a wave, and it might go in, and that doesn't do anybody any good. And yeah, so obviously driving not recommended anywhere in this place, but there you go. The rain obviously piling up from our heavy rain that we've had this evening in not only the northern TV6 viewing area, but now along and south of Interstate 80, and slowly working its way. The rain mostly done in the metro, but now we're still dealing with the flooding. And we have more video from Rock Island, I believe, if that's what we were told in the booth. And yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Up to and over the curbs on the side of the road. So this is probably something that a lot of people saw a lot of as we've gone through the evening.
Yeah, and this is going to be a scene, I think, that is repeated across lots of the viewing area here still. And the one thing that I would like to mention that Kate mentioned is how fast that water went down. That's not atypical. It is a flash flood. It happens very quickly, and it can go down very quickly. But don't let that fool you, folks, because as I mentioned, what I'm concerned about, and I think is going to be a big issue once we get into tomorrow. This is day one. This is like round one. We've got another whole day ahead of us where, in fact, the way things looked is, and I think are still kind of on track, tomorrow it definitely looks like to be a little bit more widespread of a severe weather potential and flash flooding potential. So we are going to do this all over again tomorrow. Think about that. We have this happening on a second day. We're going to have some serious issues here. I think, unfortunately, I don't think there's any way we can kind of shake around that. It's going to be some serious flooding going on here all across the area. But that we had all that rain to the north that has got to go somewhere. I can tell you we're probably going to see a pretty dramatic rise in rivers and streams within the next several days. So we've got several crews out there too, and we're going to get some more reports there. But if you are just joining us here, Bureau County, where we were concerned about that tornado warning that brought us on here originally, that has expired, and the circulation, it's weaker now, but we continue with that severe thunderstorm warning. Also, that area here in the northern Knox County, we continue with a severe thunderstorm warning. A little bit of a bow echo type deal going through Oneida, Route 34, here to Toulon and northern parts of Stark County. We're dealing with that storm as well. But back into what is at this point the most significant situation that we are dealing with, and that is a flash flood emergency at this point. Again, as Eric mentioned, I'll mention this too. I don't ever recall one of these being issued in our market. So
I don't think I've seen this much rain since either 2015 or 2016 when we had major flooding in Davenport.
Yeah, we were just, one thing too, I did that story about the flooding and flash flooding, and I talked to Mike Ortiz, who's our chief photog, and he was here for the 1990 Duck Creek flood. And I can't help but think about some of the stories that he told and some of the similarities that we're seeing in setup here, where we had a boundary parked right over top of us, and it was wave after wave after wave, and it only took a couple days of this type of thunderstorm activity to have that happen. We've done a lot to prevent that, and our Duck Creek has been changed quite a bit to make sure that doesn't happen again. But that is very possible here. I think what we could see here, again, tomorrow too, really could set us up for a pretty serious situation, a pretty serious flood situation once we get into tomorrow and the weekend.
Yeah, and just to give you an update now, our report from Princeton is over 4 inches of rain, 4.1 inches of rain this evening. And you know, Kyle, you bring up a good point, because it makes me think of something, because we do have so much water around the Quad Cities, and these creeks are going to be filled with water for the next couple of days. You've got kids at home that like to play in this stuff. Do everything you can to keep them away from any swollen creeks around the area, because that water is moving fast. It's going to be cold water, and if anything tragic should happen, I just want to make sure that it doesn't happen, and that means talking to your kids, giving them the warning about the potential, the danger of a high, fast-running creek that's filled with floodwater. And that would mean being very careful if you have any plans on going out in the Mississippi over the next few days too, because that's probably going to come up. We'll have, because of the fact that we've had this due to thunderstorms, probably see a lot of debris. Any wind-damaged trees that fall in could have a lot of debris coming down the Mississippi too. Kind of akin to a spring flood, but you know, the way this has happened so fast, we can't rule out a lot of debris in any area, waterway, high water, fast moving. Talk to your kids and think about just how close you're going to get to that stream or creek, if you even think that it's a good idea, which it isn't, to get close to it in the next couple of days. And you know, people are going to be wanting to take a lot of pictures of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I want to mention too, I'm going to talk to, you know, again, this is a little bit raw here. We're dealing with this, folks, kind of working through this with you. I want to let our producer know that if we can take some of the video that we have from Clinton earlier, we were going to run that in the 10 o'clock show, and obviously tornado warnings covered that up, but let us know if we can drag some of that stuff over and we can run some of that to show what we did see earlier. Clinton, Thompson area too. We still had some, excuse me, we had some road closures up there too because of down power lines and also some flooded roadways. But look at this. I mean, the threat's not quite over yet. Look at west of Muscatine. I would say for the metro, though, I mean, the whole trend is this boundary is kind of shifting to the south, but we're continuing to see activity build here. So maybe just south of Muscatine, but that's going to get into Mercer County. Again, we're continuing on with this. It's not letting up here, and that's just because, I mean, we have a ton of energy and a ton of moisture for this these storms to really continue to go.
Yeah, and as you can see, we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings left over to the east of the Metro Quad Cities, the southeast, and looks like for the most part, maybe we throw velocity in here to see if we can see any of the circulations. I mean, because there were some circulations before which don't look very prominent right now, maybe in Stark County, not really part of our viewing area officially. It looks like things might be coming away from that tornado possible, but we're still dealing with perhaps some strong winds, but most importantly, these torrential rains, and these can really cause some problems in terms of hydroplaning when you're driving, if you happen to think it's a good idea to be out in this stuff. Also the flash flooding threat, and we've seen that across the area multiple times this evening. This flash flood warning for Bureau County includes Princeton, Tuscaloosa. That goes till 5 a.m. The drainage will start as soon as that water starts to let up in terms of the rainfall. And then, of course, we're dealing with our flash flood emergency in the Metro Quad Cities. We got video from Moline, and again, police closing off roadways, and no doubt about that. And they got the actual high water signs out for the flooding that's been taking place.
Is this live video, guys?
This is video.
Just
so
fresh
this is
video.
not live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see there that they are blocking roads, and again, folks, that is, we're going to see that repeated, I think, here over the next several hours here across the area as we come across, as our crews come across these flooded roadways. If we can go back to Max 1, or come out here actually, I can show you one thing. We were talking about the circulation, but you see here, I've got this circled. There's still an area, but you could see it was much more prominent when it was up here to the northwest. And so when we were talking about that Stark County area, Eric, it's really much weaker in comparison to actually right about there. You can see where we get that sharp contrast there, the green and reds. That's a tornadic circulation. What we're seeing right now, definitely downtrending. This is, I would even say, probably we're probably starting to fall below even severe thunderstorm warning criteria when it comes to the winds. We'll see if we got hail. very small hail core. So, but what we do still have, lots of lightning and very heavy rainfall. So the flash flooding situation is the main concern right now, folks. If you're in those warnings, take it seriously. We've got to watch this, though. I'm concerned that we're going to see some additional activity continue to build here. I mean, circulation, not anything crazy, but you know, we've seen this. We've been unfortunately seen this on several occasions here tonight, where this happens. It, you know, might see a broad rotation or a pocket of damaging winds, and then boom, it hits an area, gets along that boundary, and then you've got explosive development. But I can tell you right now, very heavy rainfall falling in that area. I'll go back to the metro, and we'll get the information. For those folks who might be just joining us here, we do continue with that flash flood. Again, what we're going to call a flash flood emergency happening in the metro Quad Cities. That considerable tagged, again, it's pretty rare. That warning is in effect until 4:30 a.m. We got roads all across the QCA right now closed, and reports of, according to the report from the National Weather Service, was some vehicles stranded. Where was that at? That was...
we had water River Drive and 2nd
Yeah.
Street, so we had water up to over the doors of cars. And,
Yeah, and that was emergency management who reported that to the Weather Service, so that's a confirmation on that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at our temperature map where it's 68 in Maquoketa, 81 in Keokuk, and obviously overall the warm spots are cooling off now because it is night and it's well past sunset, but there's still enough of a contrast that as the showers and thunderstorms dip south, now in, let's just generally say, a region south of I-80, I know we use that all the time as kind of a dividing line, they are still running into some slightly warmer, but probably a lot more humid air. And I don't know if you can run up a dew point map. That might be kind of tough to get right now, but I'm just kind of interested to see what we're dealing with in terms of our southern counties versus our northern counties in terms of the levels of moisture, the amount of moisture. And if you are weather savvy, and we've been kind of teaching you this over the last few years, the dew point, much better read of how humid the air is than the relative humidity, which changes all day long, and the dew point stays the same and is a better representation of just how moist the air is. But yeah,
well,
you can
I'm
see
looking
these showers and thunderstorms dropping.
While I'm
south
looking for
into
that dew point map, I'll show you that right there.
Yeah, there's a look at the numbers right now. Maquoketa 68, Galena 67. Some of this rain cooled, maybe 72 in Moline, but there you go. Not, I'm a little surprised. Not as much of a difference from north to south. Maybe some mid and upper 60s versus some low 70s towards southeast, or mid 70s towards southeast Iowa. So maybe that's why we're getting that little southeast direction to some of those storms that are now just south and west of the metro. They're kind of clinging to that more humid, juicy air as they make their way through our Quad City skies.
I think the one thing, though, to note is where we have that strong cell forming in Muscatine. That's where we've got that gradient. And that's probably what's happening now, less of a temperature gradient, more of a dew point gradient, where we've got this essentially a boundary that's developed because of the rain-cooled air. We've got 60s on the dews to the north, but here in this area here, southeastern Iowa, we're still mid-70s. So that's got to come out some way, and how it is with torrential downpours and that's super heavy rainfall.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, dew points in the mid-70s, this is pretty tropical air. This is what you'd see in Florida, and so that just, one, is very uncomfortable if you're out in it, especially in the middle of a day when the temperature is around 90 degrees. But as we feed thunderstorms from that, that is just an over ample amount of moisture that these things can suck up. And there you can see that not only are we getting the heavy rainfall, now another hail core is trying to form. You've got the lightning there, which indicates some strengthening of those storms. And and until they get out of the viewing area, they are all going to be possible flash flood producers. I mean, that's the only thing we can say right now.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing here too, folks. I think is this is going to be a long night, I think, for us, but also for a lot of folks out there. So we're getting reports all throughout the metro too. People have been messaging me on Facebook and also on our KWQC page, talking about the basement floods. Some people were saying that because the power went out, they lost their sump pumps, and so. What do you do with that, right? Unfortunately. And I'll mention, too, we talk about power outages. William, do we have any update on the power outages? We'll jump over.
Steady or fewer.
Which is good. I mean, that's a good sign. And again, folks, I want to mention, too, is I think Bureau County, that's going to be the area that we're going to focus on, maybe some storm damage. But I think we're really focused on the flooding and the flash flood situation that is ongoing. So I don't know, Eric, we'll probably stay on with this here for another 15 minutes or so. And again, we're at a point now where I think we'll regroup, and then if any new warnings jump on, we'll jump on and let you know, or any new warnings get issued, we'll jump on and let you know. But again, the focus at this point, while we've got some severe storms still moving through parts of the area, the focus is that flash flood situation that is ongoing here in the metro. And I want to make it very clear, folks, if you're in a flood-prone area and say that the water is rising, you need to take this very seriously. This is probably, out of all the flooding situations, this is not what we typically see in this area. Again, as Eric mentioned, 2015 was one. And again, I think back to what we were talking about with the 1990 Duck Creek flood. It happens so fast, you have very little time to react, so you have to react quickly. And again, don't drive through flooded waters. We are hearing reports from emergency managers that people have done that, and of course their cars stalled, and they have to have police or fire come rescue them. So we don't want you to be a statistic. You need to heed these warnings and take them very seriously here over the next, I'd say probably 36 hours, because we are in this for a while. This is going to be a
long haul.
Several more rounds to go here tomorrow. Again, I'm very concerned. I think we're going to have some pretty long night here tomorrow too, unfortunately, but you got the alert. We're telling you right now that this is going to be an ongoing situation. So unfortunately, that's where we're at with it. I'll zoom back in because it looks like, for the most part, the most significant portion of this line here, Eric, is really weekend. I mean, I'd say northern Stark County is the focus there, but can't help but look at that. This thing here into the Conesville area really starting to strengthen.
And some hail there. We've turned off lightning for the time being, but you know, you think back to what we just saw in Princeton. I mean, areas of Bureau County south of I-80 are getting the heaviest rain right now, and that's going to continue to fall for about another half hour. Very slow movement, but you can see that just as soon as these develop, they start to spread out, and they do get a little bit more strong. They've got the increase in lightning, the increase in the gray, which is hail core area. Just a note to our control room, if there's any video that we haven't seen yet, or if you were able to scrounge up that Clinton video from earlier this evening, just let us know when you've got it. We'll do that. We'll show some video, and then we'll get off the air, seeing that our tornado warning has expired. I think we've got a handle on the flooding situation now. We do need to regroup and see just where things are going to go. But as far as our Iowa counties are concerned, again, you see this southern Muscatine County, south and west of Muscatine proper. As we get into Louisa County, these storms starting to spread out and start producing some heavy rain. Even, you know, some areas of broad rotation here that are just a little bit concerning. Even earlier on, the Weather Service was saying that these little smaller rotations are going to be numerous. They're not going to be too concerned about them until they start showing some real consistency. And you know, maybe that's what we're seeing the beginning of here, but we'll just need to get a few more radar scans to see what's going on with that one.
Certainly it's up trending here as far as strength goes. I want to mention too, we got a new, and this is what we're going to be talking about here, I think, with a couple of these reports. It's a raw report, so please understand that we're getting this information in. We're working on verifying this, but with it being a life-threatening situation, or potentially life-threatening, we want to get that information out to you right away. And then, of course, if we have to correct it, we will do that. But a viewer said that the Illinois Logistics Building in Rock Island, viewer said her husband was trapped there. From what I'm gathering, that is flood related, but we have a crew that's heading there right now to check this out. So we're going to verify that, folks. But again, if you have any reports that you would like to pass along of areas that you're seeing or that you might be impacted by, let us know so we can pass that along and make sure everybody else is safe and stays away from those areas. Back to this storm here, noticing big time trend here of very heavy rainfall, lightning here into southern Muscatine County, northern Louisa County, moving through Conesville now, Grandview, and again right into Mercer County here. So that is something we'll continue to watch here. Back to the metro, it looks like we can say this with some certainty. I would say there's still a chance that we could see some additional storms develop within the next couple hours, but it does look like right here through the metro, we should stay dry, at least for a couple hours here. That should allow things to kind of relax a little bit, let some of that water go down. Let's check out Clinton, Iowa. Earlier today, you could see this was, I think this was viewer video as that storm made its way through. That was a nasty storm too. Look at that tree falling down. Yeah,
numerous tree reports.
And Eric, you and I were watching that, and I think we got that alert out to folks in Clinton right before the warning was issued. But we noticed that a big spike in those winds and also some large hail too as that was moving through.
Yeah, and it was a very concentrated area on the leading edge of that particular storm. Went up to Sebula and Savannah, did a lot of damage in Savannah as well. Then the warning was extended all the way, or issued and extended through Carroll County up into Joe Davis County. Yeah, one thing about this storm here, you can see it spreading out. Usually when that happens, you get a lot more of this ragged yellow. So far at this point, behind that hail core, it's holding on to those deep reds. I don't know if there's a special weather statement or anything on this one yet, but there's no severe thunderstorm warning. And maybe, even though it's 11:20 and we're still dealing with the strength of the storms that we've been dealing with for the last hour, which is unusual around here. A lot of times we get into the overnight hours or late evening and things tend to calm down, but a little bit different situation that we have tonight. There's a look at the storm that we're concerned about. New Boston, northern Mercer County, that one's crossing the Mississippi now, northern Louisa County, and again, that's adding a lot of river perhaps to, I believe, the Iowa basin there. And as these continue to move east, there is, looking at these individual cells, not a lot going on. Those look to be weakening, but that one blob there, southern Muscatine into northern Louisa County, seems to be holding its own. And as far as rotation is concerned, nothing that jumps out at it. It's just kind of some ragged rotation, very broad. So not too concerned about that. Haven't seen, I think if the Weather Service really was concerned about that one in terms of any severity, they would at least start off with a special weather statement because, again, it looks to be far from severe now. But the problem will be where this goes. It will leave behind, again, at least an inch or two of rain. There you go with the circulation. Again, not too, like around Columbus Junction, but
I'm going to go, we are looking at, I'm just getting a report here. I'm gonna change this. I know it says 1 hour rainfall, but we'll stay out here because I've got a viewer report. And this was, a viewer called in and said Highway 52 between Sebula, Bellevue has spots that have about 4 to 6 inches sitting on that roadway. That's going to be a mess.
Wow, still.
Maybe something to mention. Yeah, it is dark out there too, and that's a great thing to mention. These country roads, especially low-lying areas along these rivers and streams, that's going to be a situation. You're going to stumble across that pretty quickly. So make sure you're very cautious about that. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this into, and you can see the areas that we've had most expansive amounts of rain. And that area here into Carroll County, I would bet you right over top of that. So again, it says 1 hour. This is 6 hour. I've got this at 6 hour. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a bullseye. I think I queried that between 4 and 5 inches, and right there.
And I will say this has been trending on the low side. Radar estimates have been lower than what we've actually seen, and I think that's because the precipitable water, or how much precipitation is available for these storms to form, is really on the highest end that we could see. So these are exceptionally efficient rain producers. So we're seeing at some points, I think we've seen probably 5 to 6 inches of rainfall. But you get the idea here, these bullseyes, and one of them here right through the metro Quad Cities, but also here Clinton up to Savannah. We've heard that too, maybe up towards Bellevue, in through Carroll County, even northern Whiteside County, north of I-88 there too, has seen a tremendous amount of rainfall. Also want to mention too, we've got that area here in Bureau County that has got that flash flood warning. We had that storm move through, and again, reports are that basements are flooding, and there is some extensive flooding across that area too. We continue with that flash flood warning here for Bureau County from Princeton area southeast here. That goes until 5 a.m. I want to jump over to William at the news desk because we did have some power outages being reported in Bureau County, and it did look like I think the Depew Bureau Junction area, right, where we saw we saw quite a few customers, I think, for that area without power.
Yeah, it actually has gone up since we last talked. So now that is up to 439. Of course, that is not exactly a densely populated area. It is not in Princeton proper. So it is kind of smack dab where the outage is pointed is between I-180 and then Highway 29 as well. So there's a separate little bit of an outage in Depew, but then as you go in between, so it doesn't exactly point out which neighborhoods might be impacted here, but you're looking now at about 440 customers without power. And when I went over to you, Kyle, just a couple minutes ago, that was just over 300. So I mean, as it goes, I mean, when these storms happen, these strong storms, and as you mentioned, Kyle, many times, this was a slow moving one. So it's not like crews can get out there, start assessing the damage, look at the power outages. I mean, they have to wait a while. They have to make sure it's safe for them to go out there. And that's how you end up with, you know, something like this kind of trickling in a little bit later here. But as far as that area in Bureau County, looking like we're starting to have those power outages pop up. There's a couple of one-offs also around the area. Curious if those start to go up a little bit more, if it's just one person that kind of calls in and they have to go out and assess the area. But those are starting to come in for Bureau County, kind of where we saw a bit more of those powerful storms go through for an extended period of time. Kyle.
Yeah, and I'm also noticing here up into Carroll County too, showing over 1,500 customers without power in Carroll County. Back to Bureau County here, I'm looking at a couple different sources. Looks like into Whiteside County we have an extensive amount, but actually Bureau County is that number that you reported there, Will, so appreciate that. 855 customers in Whiteside County without power too. So again, that's a concern as well. We're going to stick around here for about 5 more minutes. I think at 11:30 we will send it back to programming. Again, if you're just joining us here, we do continue with some storms that have to be watched. I would say specifically this storm that's getting ready to cross the 61 corridor just to the southwest of Muscatine. We'll keep an eye on that. Nothing that is either severe or tornadic at this point, but we'll continue to watch that little bit of a hail core there. Lots of lightning with that, but very heavy rainfall. So we'll be watching that. Then expanding things out here to the east into Bureau County. Bureau County now, this storm, really the significant portion of it is into Putnam County and south of the Tiscua area here. Stark County moving into Marshall County, Illinois right now. I also want to mention too, had a viewer, I want to appreciate all the reports too. We've been getting a lot of reports from you folks, and I haven't been able to respond to everybody, but we do appreciate that very much, and did get one report of almost 5 inches of rainfall that fell in the Princeton area. So that's why you have a flash flood warning that continues until 5 a.m.
Okay, yeah, so again, the word of the night is safety. Stay safe. If you are at home and you're not under a flood threat, stay at home. Right now we've got first responders, including electric crews and such, trying to make their way out and about. Obviously city crews who want to mitigate the flooding that we've had throughout the area this evening, not only here along the storms that we've been talking about in the last hour plus or so, but also from the storms that hit the northern QCA earlier tonight. Remember, we've got this flash flood warning with considerable damage. First time I can remember seeing that within our general flood warning, flash flood warning for the Metro Quad cities. So problems out and about. If you are safe at home, stay at home. Again, we'll continue to hang out here in the Weather Center to monitor these storms that are still forming along a very slow moving boundary. And you can see these things are just really half walking their way to the south, which means that's going to be a line of storms that kind of sits here. Not a big concern. We were talking about this storm here south of Muscatine. Now the rain getting into Muscatine, kind of holding its own. There's a little chance of some hail. There's some lightning with it, but again, mainly a heavy rain threat. And at this point, it doesn't look like it's much expanding much more. The edges are still kind of weakening, but that core still has some very heavy rain heading into northern Louisa County. This will be right around the Lake Odessa area, crossing the river, getting into Mercer County. Even right now, Aledo getting some heavy rain just north of town there. But this is, at this point, the last of the storms for now, but we could be off the air for 5 minutes and more would start to form off to our west. But again, we're going to let this go at 11:30, just a couple minutes away. There you can see some of the towns. Drury there, 11:41. We get to Wapello. It's just going to be in your vicinity, maybe not right on top of you by 11:42. So again, about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes or so. And a lot of this will continue to move into southern Rock Island County from Loud Thunder south into western Mercer County, north of Keysburg. And yeah, there you can see if we peek off to the west, look what's happening here. No, not there, but I'm going to point it out right. Stop the radar. There you go. Right here, that's a little radar spike that's moving this way, so disregard that. But look at what's happening here, a couple counties away. They're just tripping over that boundary, and they're starting to pop up. But again, this point of time, a good chance that we're just going to see some heavy rain from these. If anything changes, we'll certainly let you know. But then you go way to the west, as Kyle did, and yeah, west of Des Moines, about a quarter of the way into the state of Iowa. Here we have what will be arriving much later tonight, storms with, again, that potential for some heavy rain. These are probably warned because of strong winds, and there you do see it, 70-mile-per-hour winds on these ones. But again, these will work their way across the state. And where are these formed? Look at this. We take you back to just south of I-80 where that boundary is, and that's right along that same line where these are forming. They'll walk down it late at night. Hopefully they weaken, but again, with the humidity that those will feed on from south of Interstate 80, they're likely to grab onto that humidity, translate that into some fairly heavy rainfall amounts. Through Saturday morning, again,
This is additional.
This is additional from now. We could see some areas, and we were talking about this earlier tonight, of maybe 1 to as much as 3+ inches. So maybe some areas could, by the time we're done with Friday's system into early Saturday morning, have another 4 inches of rain, something we do not want to see. All right, the warnings are done for the TV6 viewing area. Severe weather warnings, however, still flash flood warning for Bureau County, flash flood warning and flash flood warning for the Metro Quad Cities. Considerable damage because of the amounts of rain that we're working with, and that is going to do it for our coverage unless you have something else.
I do real quick. I just want to mention.
Kyle's got something.
Yeah, so we'll take it back. I'll take it back to you here, Eric, in a minute. I want to mention that we have a lot of crews out right now. We have a lot of areas that do have active flooding and road closures. We are compiling a list, and we're going to put it on our Facebook pages, our website, and we're going to be here. The whole news team's coming in early. It's going to be a long night and probably an early morning for a lot of people too here, but we're going to do it to keep you covered and give you all the latest information on this. So we've got a lot of areas that we're covering right now, but we do continue to see and come across several areas that we do have active flooding. So if you have anything to pass along to, please do so. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. It's news@kwqc.com, or on our Facebook page as well with any reports, and we'll certainly send a crew out there and follow up with that. But here in the Metro, we continue with that flash flood emergency that we're watching closely, and we'll continue to follow throughout the night. Eric?
Yeah, on that note, again, be safe. If you can get us pictures, be safe obtaining those pictures to send into KWQC, but in general, just keep it a safe night. If the weather warrants, we will be back. Thanks for joining us for our live storm coverage here on KWQC TV6 in Davenport, Iowa. Back to NBC.
Goodness!